Well, folks, we have Eastblock underway. Big hot Huck going to the far corner, but Kiara Lawley is going to make easy pickings of that. So Eastblock squander their first opportunity at a break of score here. Welcome to our coverage of the European Ultimate Federation's Elite Invite 2024 in Leuven. The field conditions are perfect. Not even a drop of breeze and blue skies as we see BFD Shout, the current reigning European champions, their first official, well, second official event, I should say, of the season, because of course we had the spring invites earlier on. As Lolly surveys the field. Big ball coming out. Lovely separation upfield for Scazzieri. And posts it in, but just trails behind. A rare miscue from the very experienced handler.
Yeah, early morning jitters perhaps, but that's a couple for BFD. Not quite perfect after getting some good movement to get up into the attacking end.
So a second opportunity here for Eastblock, this youth-powered team with their new coach. Just moving it nicely to Tista there. Going for her rapid pace and movement. They're going for another big shot, and this time it comes good. And that will be the first point on the board for Eastblock, a break of score.
Yeah, big way to get on the board for Eastblock, breaking their way in and looking very strong. I mean, I would say a little bit of the jitters were the shout errors to get the game going, but to see Eastblock hold their composure, that is something that Coach Valerio Ianni has said. I said, what are you doing new with this team? How's this team going to be different with you? And he said, quite simply, my full focus at the start of the year is mental preparation, keeping them mentally strong and sound. And I guess a good show of that early on for them to be able to come in against the champs, hold their medal, and make the first point of the game a break. That's very impressive early gameplay by Eastblock to make good with their opportunity.
Well, That's not certainly what we expected to come out of this BFD Shout side. Their full fat roster here, including all of their international super starlets joining the fold. But see if they can settle things down a little bit here. Nice delicate catch high for Sinead Dunn. One and done, of course, of the mixed Ireland national team from last season fame. Cheshki pops it through to Casarini. This is really lovely float, just about on the doorstep now of their goal line. Inside break, no continuation. I'm going to stutter step in. Oh, that is a spicy shot off the paws of Eleonora Laffi.
Yeah, a bit too much, a bit too excited. Once again, BFD Shout, get it down into the attacking zone. They have a nice isolation sorted, but Laffi goes too hard for the around throw there. Throws herself off balance. We know sometimes that's necessary to get around a mark, but this time the balance was off and the throw went with it.
Well, that was definitely not well balanced either. Capitalised upon by Dunn. Certainly a very demon defender. Big backhand break just about makes it to the hands of Martina Kmetsova. And that will be a hold, but a dirty one for BFD Shout.
Yeah, not making it easy on themselves are BFD Shout. The dirty hold there, they got the benefit of a bounce on the first counter attack by Eastblock. And sure, tidy on a very short field, but they're I would say at this stage, okay, we're 2 points in, we're 5 points in, but lucky to be tied up right now. They've not had a very tidy start to this game. They've got plenty of time to stay in it, to take it over. But Eastblock, like the way they've started this game, they've come out a lot tidier. Of course, last time we saw them, Vienna Spring Break, there's about 8 to 10 roster differences from that tournament to this one. A very different look. This is a much more experienced team. They had a lot of their young players were getting a chance over there. You know, of course, 8 to 10 is still less than half of the team, so still a lot were there, but we know that depth in roster was a good chunk of the middle part of their roster went there, so it will be very different.
Well, of course, it is lovely to have a different variety of events that you can and cannot nominate. As we see a stumble in centre field, it's not going to bring that one back. It's just going to be the defence of Giulia Baroni that knocks it out of the sky. So opportunity to even things back up here. Dunn bringing the disc back into play.
Dunn, of course, one of the add-ons to this roster, a Irish international. Did some work all over.
And what an absolute get as well, adding more firepower to the D-line. They do tend to put their international stars in defense, but that's a ground strip. Unfortunately, Letizia Capello coming unglued on the far sideline. Now looking for that around to hit Padova. Dolizalova. Nice little delicate hands. Again, of course, we know Eastblock likes to play tight in their hand. They set these little pockets and channels developing. A little bit of a bump on the mark. There's Madalova. Just had a little discussion with Capello, of course, the player who gave them this opportunity back. But that is just a bit of a strange release there from Hadova. Back into the hands of Dunn. Was that a Callahan step? Or just a block?
Just a block. It evaded me there too.
So just a big old break around the mark on the goal line, and that will be one in the bag for Eastblock, maintaining their break of score in this game, and that 1 point advantage.
Yeah, great work by Eastblock in the attacking zone on the defensive side, nearly Callahaning it back, but definitely putting the block on. And they're, you know, very simple. I love that floaty leading throw into the corner. Easy stuff to run onto. And Eastblock have looked tidy in front of the goal. Have looked tidy with disc in hand, period. And are maintaining their hot start.
Well, there have been plenty of turnovers for both teams so far. Of course, a total of 5 over. No, hold on. Can I do mathematics this morning? A total of 7 turnovers in this game. Of course, BFD Shout with the one extra, having taken that break early doors. Did the check team. So we'll get another roster line out. Charlotta Schall now, European Player of the Year last season. Scazzieri. Going to enjoy watching those two connect over the course of the season, I'm sure. Oh, that's an ambitious one, and it's going to be scooped out of the sky like a ball of gelato. Getting your taste buds going this morning. High release. Looking for the inside scoop. And has it. And that one thrown into space. Really solid defensive pressure, but she can't quite get the snatch. And that will be a goal for Eastblock. Such great positioning from the veteran Gaia Pancotti, but missed the mark by a hair.
Yeah, great. You know, you got to be good to be lucky, and so far Eastblock have been good this morning, and now they're getting lucky. Sure, Pancotti had position, a little bit of a misread, benefit of the doubt, goes the way of the Czechs. They're staying ahead here, and pouring it on, in fact. The Eastblock contingent here to play. They want to make some noise after an undefeated tournament in Vienna Spring Break, and then a very lopsided final that would have been quite a public affair. There were a lot of people watching their only loss of the tournament, and yes, it's a different team, but they're back on air now. They want to rectify that, and they're coming out doing everything they can. 2 breaks on the board early against the European champions.
So Eastblock with a whiff of a lead here now, 3-1. Shout just being a little bit loose with the disc. So this to settle the nerves. We know though BFD certainly, all of their teams, all of their iterations have the caliber and grit to pull things back. So you see some nice smooth swinging across to Lolly. Pancotti now. Oh, this is just really lovely, easy flow. And Elena Bengi pops a roll curve to the back corner, and that is a quick and smooth hold. Buttery stuff for BFD Shout.
I thought they were going to take a timeout, or, you know, maybe it would have been a good idea. No, they just say, we've been here before. First thing in the morning, first game of the day. Let's take it easy. Elena Bengi, one of the best up-and-comers. I don't know if we even call her that anymore. It's probably her 3rd season that we've been like, hey, look out for that Bengi. Last year's, Bengi's still doing it. And this could be her year. I know she's on the mixed team, a very strong Italian national mixed team. So she has arrived. She is here. And there she shows you with that arcing blade, what she does out of hand. I still believe she's a more dangerous player into hand as a target and a receiver, but a very well-balanced 5-tool player indeed.
Oh yeah, to be fair, Steph, I've been fangirling Bengi for years now.
Yeah.
It feels like forever.
We're on the Bengi train.
And it's the correct life choice. Just a really enjoyable player to watch, and enjoying the warm conditions here, of course. There are very different weather conditions to Leuven's debut tournament hosting experience, the Spring Invite last season. The Jet Set community put on an absolutely fantastic tournament. And we'll talk about how lush these fields are in a wee while, but focusing on this game at hand. Vodacheva working through. Big old pocket of collateral in the centre. They just escaped through. Now dishing through under. Sort of getting away with some of these Eastblock occasionally. That one, exactly that lovely knee slide for Svekova, and that will do very nicely for another score for Eastblock. 2 breaks to the better of their opponents, but that'll do.
That'll do, as you said, getting away with a few, and then that break went just outside. A lovely connection there. I was surprised to see that they were running out of a vertical stack. They run a motion offense, but they were definitely churning up the center, resting in the center, coming back from the center and cutting outward towards those lanes. Not what I was expecting to see out of the Eastblock offense, but good to see that they've got this versatility. They can run their style out of different formations, and I really like that, where you can have a stylistic way of play, rearrange your formation, and still maintain that quick movement, change the angle, change the line of attack, and keep your defensive opponent on their toes.
Also, Steph, I've had some intel as to why some of the Eastblock names aren't coming out so quickly, is that their numbers are incorrect. Their jerseys were delayed. They were supposed to come yesterday, but because of the state holiday, they didn't get them in time. I tell you what, it's time for BFD to wake up, and they have heard the call, they've heard the shout. That's a really lovely, visionary play. Scazzieri for the goal off the hands of Pancotti. And we're seeing this line coming out for Shout quite a few times now, Steph.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose this is their O-line. They've been out there a bit more, having been broken twice already in this game. They've had to play and get back on the field. But 2 of the veterans there getting it done. Scazzieri, of course, just over a season ago, came back from California. She was playing with Fury and on the USA Nationals, well, the whole tour over there, finishing off with USAU Nationals. Had a great job over there. So I know she had been nursing a plantar fasciitis, I believe, a heel, an ankle injury, but is back at full health, ready to go. And catching an assist there from Capitana Poppi Gaia Pancotti.
Yeah, we are absolutely delighted to have Scazzieri back, and I'm sure all of her opponents have that wonderful blend of happiness, but also terror to have to find ways to nullify her as an option. So the famous Italian zone coming out despite the absolute non-appearance of the wind here this morning in Leuven. It is really, really beautiful stuff, slightly humid. But of course, we know the Italians like to flex things through. That one just about makes it. Bit of a game of pinball. Now finds Hadova, who immediately sends it. Oh, that's a really good exploitation. And after a stop of the flow initially from the Italian zone, they make it through to Elena Dolejalova.
Hadova is impressing me more and more. It blows my mind that she was playing at the EYUC Youth Championship just less than a year ago. She's potentially just over 20, but unbelievable that she has the composure to step up to the plate time and time again. She's just getting better. The 18-year-old, sorry, she's 18-year-old with 5 years experience and doing incredible stuff. The potential in that one, in Dominika Hadova, is just oozing, and I look forward to seeing more of what she's just done there. That inside-out backhand, an absolute scintillator.
Well, we are seeing Shout's D-line, or I presume some D-line players, because of course you're going to have players like Anna Cheshki, Sinead Dunn, and Martina Kmetsova on your D-line, so coming out and playing offense. But this is what I meant earlier about them rotating through the lines for BFD Shout. Of course, it's all key about getting that experience, getting your full roster warmed up. There's no easy games, though, here at this tournament, as that one sails over the outstretched fingers of Susanna Casarini.
Yep, Biseglia got not enough on that. Slippery discus out of Balia, wiping it down. A point throw earlier, as it has been done here. The morning dew, potentially a factor.
Yeah, true. I do have slightly soggy socks from just walking across the pitches to our commentary booth, just to give you an indication of how slip and slidey it might be underfoot. But Madlova getting a little bit stuck and pinned, but finds the creative shot for the break. Susta thinks about it. Decides to pop off and nearly pops the cork off of that throw and gives an opportunity for BFD to get one of these breaks back. Shushakova working with Tlusta on the far sideline, looking for the give and go. They choose to swing. I love that first step push off from Kristina Tlusta. Just so much fun to watch, but they use the exploit the poach. Zitova goes for the curvy around backhand, might run out of room, but great composure. Cheshki says she does not think it's good, but Steph, you're signaling a goal here in the booth.
I thought good. I mean, Chesky's got a better angle than me. She's right behind it. Would love to have another look at that, but I thought it was a pretty effective toe drag. I thought she got the job done. Here's another look. Let us know what you... Oh, I mean, the tape did... You saw the tape flutter there. Did she touch it just a second before, or did it flutter simultaneously or after? Here, we're going to see it.
It's so close. I mean, we don't have the benefit, but you do maybe watching this one. If you can pause, you can get the freeze frame moment. I would be happy though, Steph, just to see that one come back, because that was a very, very close thing.
The players do know that they have the benefit of having a look. Here's another look from a different angle. I think the hand touched just a second before the tape fluttered.
Yeah, with our speed control, that does look mighty, mighty tasty. Massive shout out to our camera crew for getting that one. But it may well be watched back through gritted teeth, of course. Eastblock, though, are up 2 breaks of score currently in these stages. And this is just BFD Shout's offensive point. So this one should go in the bank. Cheshki pops up high. Casarini now. Looking around, nice movement laterally. Babalia. Trying to just direct traffic is Susanna Casarini. Bit of point and shoot action. Done opening it up. And that one will eventually be a hold, but that score attempt for Eastblock is as close as it gets, Steph.
Yeah, I think that one hurts a little bit. I can say right call, wrong call. That call in the field's always the right call because it is the call. But for it to be that close, I think, as you said, maybe going back was may have been the right call. Hey, maybe we're totally wrong and that was out and everything is playing itself out properly. But a tough one for Eastblock to be that laser line close and to see it go back the other way. All set, going back the other way, BFD Shout, they tidied things up, moved up the field in about 5 passes, and were very tidy, a lot of spacing on all of their undercuts on the way in.
So Shout 2 breaks of score behind. When we get the half-time in this match, it will be the Czech side coming out on offense, so they'll get that buy one, get one free, as it were. But they'll have to hold on as we see a roller pool coming out of Pancotti. A little flash of us here in our commentary booth enjoying the sunshine, which is a reminder I need to put on my sun hoodie because it is it's surprisingly sunburny for this stage in May, but we're not mad about it. So Eastblock looking to just get it out of town. A nice swiping attempt from the arm there, but can't quite connect is Sarti. Vavrova seeking an option, just going to have to pop it into the space for someone to run down. On the far side is Mashkova. That one's going to go too far though. A valiant attempt, but just sails too far. Pancotti has the reset eventually. Charlotte Schall now. In fact, we've got two Pancottis on the pitch. We love to see it. Gaia Pancotti and Giorgia Pancotti. Charles through to Mashalani. Nice flow, hotly contested by Okkino. Options developing a little bit later in the play, but this is all fine and calm. Charles now with a beautiful continuation, low release backhand, and that will be called back on a pick, but a nice play to Letizia Gassi.
Yeah, it was good looking play. Loved the leading throw by Charles in the end. Suspiciously open is how they say it. But everything was looking about right there for Shout. Will this be their first break of the game? It was oh so close. Returns back into the hands of Charles.
Well, this is a much needed moment for the athletes of BFD. This time it's flick into Pancotti, and that one will just about make it over the goal line. A Pancotti connection.
The Sorellas Pancotti getting things done here in Leuven in Belgium, coming all the way up from Bologna. And as we said, the first break they've been playing from behind from the very first point of this game. Went down a break, went down a double break into the fourth point of this game, and then have finally started to trade. And here comes their break, and this is where you gotta watch out if you're Eastblock. If Shout can get a little bit of momentum now, that could be trouble. Eastblock right now want to do everything they can to ensure that that is a one break situation and they get back into a holding state of mind where they're at least trading and not allowing Shout to get any more momentum than one break alone offers.
Well, the vibes here are absolutely impeccable. Steph, I don't know if you can hear the song that's booming behind us.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Hold the line. Love isn't always on time.
Toto.
Absolutely. Well, can Eastblock hold on to their offense here in this game and keep their advantage? Or is it high time for another break from the Bolognese outfit? Lovely use of the roll curve flick. Eastblock in these stages of the game are having to throw themselves out of high defensive pressure. Halava on the far side going 1-for-1. A little bit of a stumble there for Halava, but all fine. A little bit too much dancing, but in comes Teresa Haveltsova just to finish that one off. Says, no, enough of this dancing in front of the disc. I'm just going to power through. I've got the space.
Love the composure here. Switched hands by Hadava. We spoke about it last time, delivering a big 30-meter inside out to spot somebody in the end zone. Here, just switch hands. Quick little delivery. Make sure the backhand is easy out of the hand. Good rotation on it. And into the breadbasket for a maintenance of that lead after the break. They did what they needed to do, held, and put their defense back on the field.
So usual score cap of 15 points here in these Elite Invite games. Full-length games though, unlike last weekend. We'll be playing to a full 80-minute time slot here in Leuven. So plenty of time for comebacks if they are required. But Shout just need to pop this one in the bank. See if they can get this one firing up. Bengi fires an absolute cannon into the centre of the pitch for Scazzieri. A smidgen of line rotation. Lovely inside shot, but well defended. Tusta sends it sailing like a butterfly's wings. So another chance for a break for the Czechia team. Lovely solid swinging. But oh, that's a very interesting release. I wonder if the disc might have been a little bit wet there, but double coverage prevents it. But immediate spoil just about saved by Chiara Lorli.
Wow, what a pickup there off the bounce from Bonfante. Great concentration by Lorli.
Yeah, really solid recovery. Shows the pressure that they're being put underneath though. Casual low grab for Strusha. Back to Lorli. Sort of see the body language there as she throws the turnover after being frustrated at what she perceived upfield. Now second opportunity. Agorikova seeking the reset.
Gonna keep my eye on this Bengi-Slusta matchup for sure.
Absolutely. It might be a height difference, but Slusta will easily make you look very silly. She just sneaks off like a ninja towards their end zone, and that is another break for Eastblock.
Yeah, keeping my eye on that one was easy when they went right to him after. Bengi looked a little bit out of gas there. Slusta really, I mean, Slusta's got some exceptional speed, and I know Bengi was had her head on a swivel there early in the cut, but Slusta got way too much separation. And the catch-up even, nice leading throw. That's what Eastblock does best, those little chip passes, chipping away in small spaces. As soon as Slusta pivoted, she knew that that was going up to the chiseling cut.
I'm not sure she was out of gas. I mean, certainly Elena Bengi is someone who just gallops around the field like she's been doing it since birth, really. But I think it was more the thing of we expect a lot of very close play from Kristina Slusta. Like, you know, she likes to be in the action. She likes to be in and around where the frisbee is. She wants to be where the frisbees are. But that one, she just was patient, just moved away from the disc and kind of just really took her time. Didn't really look too much like a very active, very engaging threat, but she was thinking, I think, mindful of her positioning and her placement, where she was on the pitch, and yeah, comes up with a really big gainer and sets up that goal very nicely. So, Shout looking to respond. Ava Müller and Charlotte Schaub, two German imports on this Italian side, alongside Catarini at the back. That one high, but easily handled. Catarini, love that wide open arm signaling of hello, I am poached. However, just about escapes there, getting that one to Scazzieri. Now Bancotti, Schau. Oh, that's lovely continuation and just about reels in the goal. Takes a little bit of a whiplash from the floor, does Matilde Mascherani, but that will be good for the Bolognese score.
Yeah, what a layout by Mascherani. She really, when both arms extended there, her body hit the ground quite heavy. Nice throw by Schau, throwing it right in front of the defense. No chance for anyone but Mascherani, and Mascherani makes sure of it there. That is a heavy landing, very good to not get ground stripped there. Great focus to maintain the reception and the goal, and Shout needed that. I mean, they need everyone when they're playing from behind. We're nearly at halftime. We know there is a chance now for Eastblock to get the 2-for-none. We always talk about that. If there is a break advantage to the team that received at the start of the game, you see that advantage formulate itself on the scoreboard at and over the halftime. And we're getting close now, Hanny. If Shout can't break, we might see that 2-point gap materialize.
Indeed, although if we do see a Shout break here, then we'll get ourselves a first game Galaxy point. We'll explain that jargon though if it becomes relevant, as Eastblock looking to just try and punch this one in nice and easily, and another variant of the Italian zone. They're happy to throw these over the top. Metsova coming in though and denying any potential balletic footwork opportunity. So an early doors turnover and a third of the pitch to go for Sinead Dunn. Finds Kmetsova. Of course, Kmetsova such an absolute weapon for the Shout D-line for their gold medal win last season. Just pops it Bit of a sky ball, and it's going to be taken away by the defender very effectively. Alena Dolezalova with the block.
Yeah, Dolezalova had position as soon as that hung up. Casarini was behind. The separation was enough, but that had to be a bit of a laser line huck to get there. As soon as it floated, the advantage was negated based on stature, and well teed and macked away. And a second chance to hold now.
Yeah, well, either way, a high stall option, Kometsova. And if you're going to have to throw it on a high stall, you might as well throw something into the end zone just in case. So Eastblock being put under similar pressure. Fantastic read, but just bobbles it on the catch for Hadatsova. And Dunn will get us back underway. Rabalia. That one a little bit of an awkward release, but has Kometsova underneath it. A reliable receiver, and that one ripped down by Margherita Giovannini. And that is the much needed break in the late stages of the first half. We are Galaxy pointing, Steph.
Yeah, we're getting there. 7-7, a couple mullets on the board. A missed grab that would have been an exceptional one. There's another look at the Rabalia deep bomb. Kometsova, just the lefty grab in traffic there. Great grab. And Giovannini with the goal. But it was Hadatsova who had a chance on the play on the sideline here. There was a Kometsova bobble. She couldn't hang on, and that created the chance. Looks like we've got a timeout, Hanny.
We certainly do, Steph, so we will take a brief break here in the booth. Don't go anywhere, folks, though. This game will continue. Galaxy point situation in our first game here at our coverage of the European Ultimate Federation's Elite Invite 2024 here in Leuven, Belgium. And the conditions, Steph, oh, they are perfect.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful day here. Not a cloud in the sky still. Looking around, it was that way first thing in the morning when we were riding our bikes in. It remains that way a few hours later, and forecast seems to only present beautiful skies and days for us. Not a gust of wind. This is optimal conditions for offenses to really start clicking. And that said, we've got 4 breaks in the game, two apiece.
No,
Sorry,
5.
breaks, 5 breaks in the game. 3 for Eastblock, 2 now for Shout. Shout's still playing from behind. If they can win this break point, they'll put it back on serve.
And we are seeing a little bit of a defensive power line. Pancotti, Charles, Casarini, Kometsova, Baroni. It's a whole affair here for the Italians trying to snatch the disc away. But Tlusta, that little super starlet, working around now. Of course, shockingly, one of the older players is Tlusta for this young Eastblock side. Lovely visionary find to Hadova over the top of the zone. Hammer. Oh, that one sank just a little bit too much and hits the turf in front of Tlusta. Nice idea, though, taking advantage again of this complete absence of wind. Casarini on the far sideline. Charles racing away. Oh, that's a spicy inside backhand release. Pancotti going for a bit of a truss ball over the head of the mark. Does work out well, though. Baroni. Just about squeezes it out, but it's a falcon punch from Susanna Casarini instead of the catch she intended. And off go Eastblock. Beautiful throw and go on the burn. Teresa Harantsova with the goal, and that will take half for the buy one, get one free, or two for none.
2 for none potential. They still got to convert a hold on the other side, but they're doing everything they can. That Casarini misfire did 2 things, gave Eastblock very good position, but Casarini on the ground, and the cut went deep by Haveltsova immediately, and the separation was, as soon as that disc was picked up, there was a deep cut available. No hesitation to make the cut, no hesitation to throw to the cut, and Eastblock take a big Galaxy point with a pull coming their way after the half, Annie.
Indeed. Well, can the BFD Shout team push themselves in front of Eastblock? We'll find out in the second half.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with Alti TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Come on, Brad!
We live in a world where everything can be referenced online. Imagine if the greatest moments in our sport were never filmed. Eurodisc continues to do what it takes to make free-to-watch live streams a reality. Let's leave nothing to the imagination. We'll consume the action live, and we'll support those that help to make it happen. If it wasn't streamed, it didn't happen. Eurodisc.
What a grab! Oh my God! Somehow they do it!
Second half just about to get underway here in Leuven, the Elite Invite 2024, part of this new EUCS ranking series. And Steph, what a game we've got on our hands so far.
Yeah, as our good friend Benji Reese says, to the surprise of no one, the Eastblock, again, we talked about Bengi off the top and said, okay, yes, this is Bengi. She's very good. She continues to be good. We know she's good. Well, it's about the same thing with Eastblock now. They've been on the map for a few years. They've been getting better and better, and now they're here again, and they're ready to swing with the big dogs, and they've got the biggest of dogs to start things off with in the European Champions, and boy, are they swinging. They are right there in this. They have the decided advantage with an extra break in the first half. They won back the flip that they did not, the only disadvantage they do have in this game is not winning the flip, but right now everything is in their pockets. If they want to just keep holding, they're going to win this game.
And talking about how this is going to impact the season, because of course it's all changed for 2024. We have this new sort of ranking system, the almighty algorithm, much to the delight of us ultimate pundits, keeps things even more interesting throughout the season. Of course, we will have some wild cards awarded here at the Elite Invite, but BFD Shout currently #1, the top spot of the rankings. But in terms of the overall standings, we haven't yet seen the emergence of Eastblock thus far, so we can't tell you what the almighty algorithm says should happen in this game as terms of a score outcome. So there's certainly going to be a big impact though if Eastblock can get themselves a win here against this #1 ranked BFD Shout opponent. Of course, the team's currently in contention for those potential spots as far as the rankings are concerned of Roof, Tequila Boom Boom, Smog and Sharks Ultimate Barcelona, so they'll also be watching this matchup potentially quite closely, because it's all about points for prizes later on in the season to see who will get those bids to EUCF. So Eastblock coming out on offense, See if they can take their point for the 2 for none. Buy one, get one free, whichever your particular jargon of choice is. Kluster on the far sideline. Puts that one a little bit near spoil. Just about makes it through. Svekova holding on. I think that might have been an offhand backhand that trails away. Pancotti making good use of it. With Dunn. Doesn't like the look of it. Turns upfield, has Kublichka, but just about misses. And Latvian's second season working with this BFD Shout program. Has Dunn slides away, but opens up the pocket for the big launch to Kluster. Oh, great connection with the hand, but unfortunately, claw doesn't close.
Yeah, I was really enjoying that matchup. Pancotti had the inside lane. Slusta had her eyes turned and on it. Slusta read it best. She had that battle was hers to win. She got up and touched it, but couldn't squeeze the hand. Here's another look, but nice contest between the two of them. Yeah, Pancotti certainly making it as difficult as possible.
Well, that is your job as a D-line defender. As we see now, Shout's counter-attack. A bit slower than they like to, and it's Kublichka that unfortunately doesn't quite connect again. That one does hit the hands a bit harder, but perhaps too hard. Luster now, working with Vavrova. Goes for the grind, big backhand around, but of course, Scazzieri is not going to be battled to any front cone.
Yeah, tested the wrong corner there. Scazzieri had only a step behind, and her speed is easily backable to gain one step on even the best of receivers.
Yeah, she's blazing, blistering speed. She runs past you, you sort of feel a little bit of a friction burn just from the air moving around. Kubichka releases a high backhand, and that is a beautiful placement. Not sure exactly who it was for, but Irene Scazzieri will snaffle it up regardless, and that prevents the true conversion of that break. So we are 3 apiece for breaks, leveled up, but it will be Eastblock with that little nudge in front, Steph.
Yeah, Eastblock still in front, which confuses me sometimes because
the reason, so the advantage is taken. So normally when you have a game that obviously you win or lose the flip, and the winner decides what they want. You should, on paper, in theory, unless you think there's going to be a big differential and you want to get that advantage in the second half by, as you say, consolidating the 2 for none. If you break to start the game, you get that first point on the board, which means you then take back that advantage that you would have had if you had won the flip and called for offense and then held it. So that first break out of the blocks, that's why Eastblock are still that nudge in front, even though they, in theory, lost the flip. They got that first point on the board. That first one then takes that advantage that your opponents would have had if they'd been able to put that one in.
Yeah, makes absolute sense. And troubles my brain sometimes that I got myself lost on that one, Hannah. Not my first game of Ultimate I've watched, in fact, if you would believe it.
Really, Steph?
Well, at least second or third. But yes, first thing in the morning here Saturday.
It's okay. We're it's a delight to be obviously this far into the season now, but it does sometimes have a little bit of a spoil in your brain as that one nearly gets spoiled by the delicate fingertips of Giorgia Pancotti, the 17-year-old youngster. Of course, last weekend we talked about whether it made it to your ears, the Tom's Tourney BFD Shout roster that had lots of cheering as cheaters, of course that being the development second team coming out of Bologna. But this is lovely work from the zone, really just applying pressure and containing. The tactical adjustments working out, but remaining patient are Eastblock. Havakova in that centre pocket. That high ponytail just staying cool under this warm morning sun in Leuven. Now moving around. Nice bit of push through from the back. Binova. But it's all being pushed through by Svekova. They're trying to be dynamic. Oh, nearly spoiling there. Oh, and we saw one for Shout earlier, and this time it's Eastblock playing some pinball amongst their handler set. Can't quite make the full jailbreak, but working it past the front jaws of the zone. Soft, silky scuba. Zalushka. Oh no, that's not Zalushka, that's still Pinova. That 8 turned into a 9 for a brief moment in my brain. Great exploitation, though, of the overheads. I think the name of the game in that point, Steph, 9-8 for Eastblock.
Yeah, great composure, particularly in the last quadrant of the field there. The Bolognese defense tightened up. There were a few throws here with the 3 in front. They stayed in their zone. A couple high stall counts, but in the end, the hammer comes out. They went over top twice in the last sequence of 5 or 6 throws. The scuba stretched things out enough and made the defense readjust and gave a little bit of breathing room to Eastblock, and then the hammer for the score. Love to see that Eastblock are not going to play overly conservative against the zone. They stick to their motion and their quick movement, and in conditions like this, know and back themselves to have these throws and go over top and take those stuff with, you know, early in stall counts, not as like a get out of jail, not as an emergency, oh darn, I got to do something here. Just, that's the right option. I see the hammer, boom, taking it and putting scores on the board.
So Eastblock's just that nose in front. The ball lands out of bounds, and Casarini will bring it to the brick mark. Eastblock sticking with person coverage and just trying to bracket the stack-up field. They do have Kluster on, heading across from the O-line. Oh, and that's a fantastic poach block. There's going to be a foul called on the throw, but you cannot take anything away from a great bit of moves from Anna Barborikova.
Wonder if we'll get another look at that, but Casarini is indicating that it was a hand slap. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think she's got a point there. She called it immediately, and it is now accepted. And maybe just a bit of repositioning here.
I was going to say, Barborikova did play a little catch up on that much slower moving disc than intended. You can see the big frame of Kmetsova in that underneath position. Tempt anyone into throwing it around break, I'm sure. Back with Casarini. But Eastblock doing a fantastic job of pushing the Italians to take negative yards. Big pressure, but a bit of a stumble there from Kmetsova. Takes a divot out of these lovely pitch. Rips open an inside backhand, though. That one's going to sail way too far. A lot on it, trying to hit Sara Rabalia.
Yeah, she worked her way around that mark with a little bit too much to throw the inside backhand. Really avoided the mark, and I think ended up having to put a bit too much on it. Also, she took the divot out there, got down a little bit wobbly, grabbed her knee there, hoping she's going to be okay.
Well, she's definitely an athlete that puts in the time and effort on the gym. Inspiration fits bow, as the kids say. Rabalia puts up an inspirational shot into the path of the young Kmetsova. Second season appearance for her as well with BFD Shout, if I recall correctly. But a nice shot. That's the connection you expect to see. Isara Badia throwing to Martina Kmetsova, as we see another look at that down court from Sinead Dunn. But lovely to have those two out here on the pitch working together. Two players the same age connecting for that score, both of them 26. I said 26? Yeah, 26, that's the correct words. Of course, Kmetsova having played for the Austrian national team last season at EUC. And if memory serves, I believe Rabalia was playing for the Italian women's side. No Italian women's team, though, going to Worlds later on this year. They're just taking an open team and a mixed team. That mixed team looking extremely talented.
Extremely talented indeed. They've pushed all their cards into mixed, which now everybody knows about and talking about, but a bit of a surprise at the start of the season when that first happened. Italy.
Well, until 2019, Steph, the Italians just didn't do mixed at the national stage. It was almost unheard of. We were talking, I remember talking to the Italian mixed team on the coach to the fields in 2019 being like, how's this experiment going? So what a change. And I'm really here for it. Oh, but Charles just putting on the invisibility cloak and getting a swat at that disc. Perhaps a costly mistake here for Eastblock. All leveled up at 9 apiece, this to put themselves back in charge. Charles through to Kubliczka. That one a little bit astray, but Baroni fine. Nice gainer. Not quite putting the pressure on there. Sinead Dunn with a lovely catch. With a slightly off pass. Still count rising, just going to have to fire it. The bid is there, but the connection is not. And you can see the body language as she comes out of the turf for Letizia Capello. She's not the happiest of bunnies. So back in. Nice moved. Aveltsova. Done though. Oh, not quite able to finish that one off. Starts the job, doesn't quite get it done. But this is really big pressure from BFD Shout. They're trying to turn every single screw, but they escape. Hoslova. Looking for the reset. Has one available in the form of Halvacheva. This is nice lateral flow. Trying to be patient. Oh, that's a lovely little dish and a snatch with the left hand. Elena Dorozalova collects the goal from Michaela Mashkova, sorry. And that will do Eastblock just about hold on to the lead, but that was some fantastic defensive pressure from the Bolognese.
Yeah, the only thing they had was the deep throw, and then it really stretched the whole defense open. They get out of jail, and lovely finish here at the end. Good leading throw, strong left hand there. And Eastblock staying in front late in this game. Welcome to all you. We've gone live now. The game is recorded, so everything that has been behind us will be available, so don't you worry. Everything will be viewable for on demand. If you go back, this is all going to be caught. Ulti TV have been here from the start, cameras rolling, so glad that it is now coming through live. We're happy to have you here at iNvite, Ultimate Federation, European Ultimate Federation's premier event of the season. Top 8 in each division. It's going to be a good one, and if this game's any indication, it's going to be a great weekend, Hanny.
Oh, it always is, Steph, whenever we cover these events. But Avamula running out of options and then throws a lovely inside to Bonfante. Carololi. You can see Scazzieri working in the underneath the player. They really just want to try and keep away from the end zone if you can. Lovely movements. Bonfante trying to go for the little jump in, but doesn't need to because Ava Müller on her left shoulder just racing to that front cone.
Haven't seen too much out of Ava Müller this game. A German pickup. Played for Heidi's, has done World with an Australian team, Lunchbox, spent years in Brisbane growing up playing Ultimate there. A real gunslinger of a player, a great pickup, making this team even more dangerous. A stand and deliver kind of shooter, but also a big target in the end zone. Look out for Ava Müller, and Bonfante didn't have to do much to spot her wide open in the corner that time.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to see what happens to Ava Müller in this season. As you say, Steph, a player really known for just, you know, sort of taking out and that point and shoot type of affair, just throwing players open at will. But I think playing alongside Shout will be really beneficial for her game. Obviously, they have a real flexible style, do the Italians. They are happy to kind of find the right fits and collect people together. I think it's just a case of maybe those coaches weaving her into the roster, figuring out where she works best, because of course we're still so early in the season. Second event for BFD Shout of the EUCS ranking game, and of course our first for Eastblock, and already making a statement of this young Czechia side. So a long stroll back from that out of bounds pull for Eastblock. Start us off.
Oh no.
Spoil, but a spoil straight back, goodness gracious. Both these teams sort of taking leaves out of each other's playbooks. Very close cut for the zone. But happy to play through it. Mashkova now. Cut nice and responsive, flattens up and moves away when those crashes are no longer in the area. Not the most believable overhead fakes there, but able to pop through. Those little dinky-dunky tiny passes. Svekova on this near side now, all the way over to Mashkova. Podasova. A little bit of a discussion, double team called. As Bancotti comes a little bit too close for comfort. Plenty of space, those lateral bits, but you've got a Charlotta Schall there, so it's a very tempting option to throw those, but of course that's what the zone is trying to do, set the trap, deploy, and snatch away. Oh, that's going to be a high stall, but excellent composure on the release, and Klára Svekova underneath it to collect the goal, and that will be enough for the hold for Eastblock. 11-10 as this game starts to get towards the soft cap of 15.
Got to work for everything there. I thought, like, what a glorious opportunity for Shout to break a first throw, turnover straight through the hands, short field, and one short throw later. It was as though nothing changed for Eastblock. It was just two turns in the span of about 5 seconds in the span of a 3-meter box there, and then Eastblock go back to doing what they've been doing and chip their way up the field and score. Great game, back and forth, no major advantage, but it is a fantastic game here.
It really is. These two teams separated by a hair. It was funny, that little moment at the beginning of the point of the spoiled throws, one after another. But at the moment, it is Eastblock that are doing things a little bit more finesse than their opponents. The perfect conversions of their O-line, 63%. 7 out of the 11 points so far versus 50-50 for both the D-line and O-line of BFD Shout. Of course, the D-line of Eastblock a little bit scrappier, but that's a find on this near sideline. Attempted anyway Cheshki was ridiculously free and available, but the throw just was not enough to get to her. So Twister, having cleaned up, sends one arcing across, but Twister has a big old swat at it, but can't quite get there. Oh, Eastblock really just winning the Huck game. Lovely grab for Zitova. The score is going to be called good as well. Anna Zitova did not know that she was in the end zone. She was just looking at the frisbee, Steph, and that's the way you got to do it.
Wow, what a game. You kind of get this sneaking suspicion that by seeing Shout hanging around and like tightening things up just before the half, getting another break into the second half, they're waiting for their moment to strike and get ahead, you know, get one more break, show their championship medal and come big. But Eastblock will not go away, showing late game breaks here, stretching it open, 2-point lead. Love the way they play. Shout had a great opportunity. There's another look at the catch that I'm going to get to here, but Shout, great opportunity. Chesky was wide open. Throw went flat instead of outside in. Slusta cleaned that up. And you're right, they are winning the deep game too. The game that we're expecting to see tick, 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 chipping away, taking the small stuff, which they're doing. They're exposing the long game, making it available. Bologna's playing the underneath very tightly, and when Eastblock pick and choose their moments, they're there.
Maybe they learned some lessons from their fellow Czechia opponents from Vienna Spring Break. So we know that the 3SB athletes, they love a good huck. So maybe some you know, game-inspiring game, huh?
It's very possible.
Well, BFD Shout are going to need to find some late game inspiration here. Still trailing, never been ahead so far in this matchup against this blue-shirted young team. Scazzieri and Bengi on the far sideline. And that was a very, very quick and efficient hold for the Italian side.
Yeah, don't look down to your rosters for 1 second, Hannah. That went from left to right at a scorching pace. Scazzieri, Bengi, all the Pancotti, all the names you'd expect to be needed to be involved here to get things back on track are the names you're hearing to get back on track. Finished off back in the hands of Bengi. The assist goes the way of Mascelani, and Italy Shout. The Italians bring it back to within one with that very quick, efficient attack.
And we are going to see another look at a defensive power line as well. You've got Kmetsova readying for the pull, Charlotta Schall on the far left, Scazzieri, Casarini. I think that's might be, well, we've certainly got the elder Pancotti on the pitch, and Sinead Dunn, of course, and then at number 14, Nicole Baiocchi, finishing off this D-line attempt for Shout. They really do need to get a break before the points cap emerges, because this one is going to finish well before time. Nice and efficient out here. Do you see that flash of Baiocchi in the near side space?
Back to the zone. No, I don't think I'm too surprised by that.
I'm not surprised either. And look at that really lovely movement from Hodakova. Hodatsova. The way she moved, when you watch this one back, and I'm sure you will, folks, the way she moved through to hit that spot in the zone was really lovely. That one's going to be requiring the bid, and there it comes. Big one hits the deck for Klara Svekova.
Wow, what a pickup. I was loving that. It seemed like there was no chance, and that right hand just finds its way under.
Yeah, Svekova's really been delivering this game. She ate her breakfast, that is for sure.
Some Belgian treats.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe, I was going to say, maybe it had some fishy element, because the brain power as well. Some omega oils getting you underway in the morning. Novakova punches through. Just got to take their time. Dolajalova. Now on the far. Kursova. And then straight back. taking their yards nice and easy. Oh, that's a lovely find as well for that final chain for the goal, and that will maintain their lead 13-11. Still a game to 15, folks, because there's plenty of time left to expire.
Yeah, great patience by Eastblock. The power line on, they're really like, you can see Shout's going for the win here. They're not saying, okay, first game, it's, you know, we can get back through a format. They're going for the win. They're playing their power line out there, and they put the zone on. I think they had them in a bit of a sticky situation at the midfield mark. You saw that exceptional grab in the midfield. Kotubova picks that one up, and they just kept their foot on the gas, maintained, took the little simple spaces in between that zone, and eventually exposed it. And I am loving the way this Eastblock team is playing. Coach Yanni talked about the mental preparation necessary. I mean, they are showing it here. Yes, this is the moment they really got to show it and close out a game, but thus far, very impressed with the way this team has been performing under pressure and in tight situations.
Well, this is Pool A. There are 2 pools, of course, in every division here at the Elite Invite. The 8 best teams from last season, as you see the drop from Elena Bengi on the far side. And another opportunity here for Eastblock. Oh, a little bit of a stumble and slip there. Through to Trusta. But just stands up and receives the pass anyway. Now, Putanova. Oh, that's a big old flick huck into the back space, and Gaia Pancotti says no.
No, Zitova went for it there. Pancotti closed the door. Zitova, a few throws earlier, a zipper to get the inside break. I was quite impressed with. That time, Pancotti really saving the day. That was inches away from being another goal, another break for Eastblock.
And that would have taken us to our first match point. But the full field stretch here, not the biggest challenge for, of course, for such talented athletes. Mashalami through to Pancotti. Oh, but that will go a little bit astray. Too much juice on that backhand. Nothing Pancotti can do to rescue that one. So she might have to get another block here. Plushakova getting us started. Vladasova. You can see Pancotti really gunning for it. There is plenty of redemption here. But of course, if you can finish out in the top spot of your pool, it's all about making sure your crossover is as easy as possible. Give yourself the best berth through to the championship end of the bracket. There goes another big shot. Oh, that's such a nice disc, but almost punched out of her own hands by the offhand.
I don't think almost. I think that's exactly what happened. I think the sticky hand got there. Here's another look, but I think you're absolutely right with that assessment, Hannah. The momentum of her arm swing and her gait. Oh, maybe perhaps trying to clasp it, but it looked like that from that angle. Unlucky there again by the hair of my chinny chin was the difference.
Well, you do have quite a few hairs on your lippy lip, but not so much on your chinny chin, Steph. But yeah, massive effort from Hrushakova, regardless, as the Bolognese D-line go all the way to just a third left remaining. And I thought that was going to be in. Scazzieri very close to that front goal cone, but just slices through, pops it through the letterbox. Just sending a postcard to a friend, my good friend, Gaia Pancotti.
Very quick the other way for Shout that time. As I said, as close of margins as can be. The missed catch, leading throw for Eastblock, and then if you give Shout a chance, if you give them too many chances for sure, they're going to make you pay. They did that time. They moved up the other way quick and efficiently again. A lot of the household names on the field right now. Pancotti, Scazzieri, very influential in getting that one to be an eventual dirty hold.
Well, and influential for so many seasons. Of course, Francesco Sorrenti is the captain of BFD Shout this season. Real sort of banner carrier for the Italian side, but There's so much big game experience for so much of this roster, including, of course, some of the young athletes coming through from the under-20s division last season, Steph. Really exciting to see what the Italians are cooking up, both literally and metaphorically, because, of course, their cuisine that we got to sample so much last year was gorgeous. But we're in Belgium for a little season here, but delighted to be in Leuven again. The conditions are ideal. So Eastblock looking to put themselves within one of the win. Havantseva pushing through Tomashkova. Things looking a little bit static. Slicing one and another bid required, but a great one delivered. Eyes on the prize for Havantseva. And now she comes through up line. You can really see how much of a powerful athlete she is just from the stance alone, let alone the quality, but that's a really lovely bid. There might be a discussion on the back end of it. Certainly looks to be an uncomfortable landing for Lucy Vavrova.
Yeah, Vavrova's down, not sure if there was contact. Hadova through to a pretty tight window there. Scazzieri helping out, giving some attention. I think Vavrova could be in a bit of a bad way.
Yeah, definitely a difficult option to squeeze through. Lots of players going towards the same spot. But we will we'll take a short break and allow this injury stoppage. Don't go anywhere, folks, though, because the conclusion of this game will come up in a few moments. So a bit of an injury stoppage here. We're going to get another quick look at that replay from the incident just before we took our break involving Vavrova. So you can see here, it's that little flash of defender. All fair, just a little bit of collateral as you're coming through, but good discussion happening on the field, Stefan.
Yeah, good discussion. Seems Vavrova's back on her feet. That is very good news. Medics coming, all precautions being taken to have a quick on-field examination. Be sure is the best way about these kind of situations when you get the body wobbles on the joints or any part really. Just have let's get a professional look at this. But also, was there a foul on that play? It seems like it. It's coming back.
Yeah, it looks to be contested, which is I think a fair outcome. It was a difficult option to connect with cleanly, but there certainly was an amount of contact that happened on the back end of it. Getting another look.
Yeah, ambitious throw. It had to be, if it was going to be fast, even another half foot in front. But again, it's Scazzieri closing the door there. That she closes those doors as fast as anyone. And I don't think she forced her way into the opposing line. Just kept running her straight line, a tiny bit of body contact, and they're going again.
Well, you play to the lowest level of acceptable contact. Eastblock going for an isolation play, waiting patiently for that one to develop for Hadova. Oh, that's a spicy inside break shot. and that will put Eastblock within one of the win, 14-12 over BFD Shout, the reigning champions from last season.
Veltsova having a heck of a game here, kicking off the sequence after the first round. Look at that inside break, and then just gets back on that bike and puts in work, gets in the middle, waits for the eye contact, another inside throw, and of course we're seeing this timeout because Shout are backed into a corner.
Indeed, they need to make an adjustment and put the Bosch on Eastblock, but we'll see how this one develops. Can the Italians rise in the early stages of this season? Find out in a minute.
Come on, Brad!
We live in a world where everything can be referenced online. Imagine if the greatest moments in our sport were never filmed. Eurodisc continues to do what it takes to make free-to-watch live streams a reality. Let's leave nothing to the imagination. We'll consume the action live, and we'll support those that help to make it happen. If it wasn't streamed, it didn't happen. Eurodisc.
What a grab! Oh my! Somehow they do it!
European Ultimate Federation Elite Invite 2024, and we have quite this performance from the youngsters of Czechia. Eastblock 14-12 over the current European champions BFD Shout, the Bolognese outfit plus international extra talent. Big shout out to our live chat going on. Nice to have you here. Sarah Melvin says gives creds to the Jinx and Iceni matchup over in Pool B that's concluded. Of course, loads of coverage for you. Your delight and delectation as the Italians try and hold on in this game. Ava Müller just sails over Chiara Lolli. Looks a little bit confused there, but had Bengi on the far sideline. Pancotti has Müller. Striding away, a bit of a left ankle brace there for Müller. So perhaps a little bit of soreness, just making sure. Lolli. There's Bengi there, but that one's just about going to make it to Ava Müller. The bid comes and off she goes, throws the immediate assist after getting up from the turf. That is Ava Müller style for sure.
Yeah, that's why she's on this team. Wow, well, that should have been a turnover. The throw was not very good by Chiara Lolli. And let's just bail you out here. I got this one. I will throw my frame to the turf and then put it on the money into the goal. And quick, and you see the sigh of relief there on the reception out of Letizia Gatti. That one came in hot and heavy, and she knew that's meant to be an easy catch, but those ones can, you know, a little bit of focus gone astray, and they can bounce off your chest. So well done by Gatti to hang on. That's the easy part of the job done now for Bologna. Now the tough part. Now they got to turn away a hold.
Well, we've seen an Italian team quite recently go on a bit of a run of breaks at the end of a game.
Oh, yeah.
And one would put us in a universe point situation, which we're always a fan of. But just to talk a little bit more about Ava Müller there, making that big hero bid. Got 179 centimeters of height. So 179 if it's all even Stevens, and her index is 1-to-1. Then 179 centimeters of reach. So that's just about, if you use old school money for your height, that's about 5'11". So certainly a big athlete to make those redemption bids. But Eastblock now looking to finish this one off in style. Dolijalova getting a little bit of a touch on Martina Kmetsova. Yeah, just a little bit of a shoulder bosh, but all fine. Still will continue. Around to Haveltsova. Oh, and they're just going to huck it to Slusta for the goal, and that is Eastblock 15-13 win over BFD Shout, and they celebrate in the sun here in Leuven.
Well, they should. Slusta, the rising star, known for her agility, her ability to give and go, the catch and release. And today, she really showed some maturity, her ability to read what the defense giving, understanding that these teams are on to Eastblock now. They know the game plan. These teams are on to Slusta's player profile now. They know what to expect out of her. And she's adapting, adjusting, going deep at the right moments. Was a deep receiver at least 3 times in this game successfully. And a huge win, a big upset to kick things off on this live stream. First round action at Elite Invite. We're in for a weekend of fun, I think, here.
Oh, we absolutely are, Steph. And I have to say, massive hats off to the defense and the pressure that Eastblock were able to apply in that game. They were successful at generating a turnover in 50% of their D points. So out of the 14 points their D line came out of the blocks, they got 50%. They turned their opponents, which is nothing really to shake a stick at, for this is the European defending champions coming into this 2024 season. But we will wrap up the game here. Thank you so much for joining us for our first game here on the full coverage stream of Elite Invite. Of course, we have so much coverage coming at you from all of the fields here, so get yourself over to the schedule website and see what's coming up next. On this field, though, field 2, we're going to have Moon Catchers from Belgium versus Chevron Action Flash, so enjoy that next.
Breathe in some love and let yourself unfold. There's something juvenile about your pretty face, but it seems so hard for you to know when you need space. I hope you find your peace and that you get a pace with yourself. Oh, yeah. Let yourself unfold. Yeah. Let yourself unfold. Owe it to yourself to dare. Just try to open up and show someone you care. It might not be intentional, but you seem scared. Just try to open up and let it lead somewhere. Breathe in some love. Let yourself unfold. Breathe in some love. Let yourself unfold. You jump to fly, high, high, high. Standing on the edge while you're looking down. Fly down on the ground just to find out. You fly so fly, don't ya? Keep riding skies, won't ya? Standing on the edge while you're looking down. Fly down on the ground just to find out. You fly so fly, don't ya? Keep riding skies. To yourself, to there. Just try to open up and show someone